Modeling Hour with Lisa from my garden. So just give me a second, I'm gonna fix my hair. I did a bad thing, which was hanging out in the garden because it is a nice day. And I was working and getting stuff done, and so I'm, you know, late for my live because of that. Just gonna take this a little bit. I want it to be a little less me and a little more garden, so anyways, that's pretty good. I'm sitting in the front garden. Pond is here. The caravan slash mobile home slash guest house is behind me. That little green roof you see there, it was a chicken coop, but I painted it and it was like a cat house. But the cats don't live here anymore. They one of them's kind of a wild cat that just goes to neighbors, and another one adopted a lady down the street, and well, they adopted each other, so Bliss lives at that house now. And this is one of Steve's beautiful chairs that his brother-in-law, his sister's husband, David, made for him for, I think it was Father's Day a couple of years ago, that I commissioned these to get made. So I hope the fountain isn't too loud. Let me know if that's too loud and I can shut it off. Hello, Kathy and everybody else watching. Welcome to the front garden, the wildlife pond. So when I built this, it was supposed to be very inconspicuous. It was a flower bed originally. Stephen has made it into a flower bed, and I was gonna make a wildlife pond, but where there was so many plants that you wouldn't even really know there was a pond there, but the wildlife would. But it ended up becoming a feature of the garden. So, hi Mom. So I can turn it a little more this way, and you can see how lovely of a pond it is. So, I hope everybody's good this Sunday, June 6th. It is VD Day, so the end of the war in, no wait. It's not VD Day, it's my brain's not working. You know, World War II. I think it's a Victory Day. I can't remember what today is. Sorry, my brain. So what is new with you and all of you guys? We have been barbecuing a lot this week with our American style barbecue. And we had a visitor today, which is, D-Day, sorry. We had a visitor today, which was Owen, my oldest stepson. He came home with his partner, who he's been with for 6 months, for us to meet. And that was nice. Had a barbecue dinner, had lots of different types of meat for dinner because we're meatitarians. And my nails are dirty because, like I said just before, I was here for my live, which is part of the reason that I'm a few minutes late, is because I was in the garden. One of my favorite things in the spring is the, like, clouds and clouds of blue forget-me-nots, but once they finish blooming, they have to be pulled out, and I don't mind them letting their seed go everywhere because then I get the clouds of blue next year. But yeah, I was pulling a bunch of forget-me-nots out of the raised bed, so I got little bits of them in my hair, and I know when I went in the house I was a bit dirty and stuff. So yes, I'm just gonna have a sip of my pop. There we go. As promised, I'm out in the garden, part of the garden. It's not a garden tour, but I hope you like what you see. It is a lot of green here and different, like, some things flower, but the flowers aren't as apparent over here. But if I turn this way a little bit, then you can see there is more wildlife flowers and stuff there. So this is just a flower bed. It doesn't have any water in it, or bog. There is the pool back there, but the pool, I took it down last year, and I kind of regret doing that now because when I set it up, it has a hole in it, so it doesn't actually have any water in it. I got to find out where the hole is, and I just haven't done that yet. So my stand is a bit crooked now. So thank you at Pond Looks Beautiful in the background. Yeah, it's a different background today. I have these really pretty calla lilies that are right here. I could actually, if I do this, I'll put this one on this side. I like this one because some of the leaves are really green and red as well, because technically that's what these are as well. And I don't want to wreck it, but there we go. So that makes it a little more colorful. Yeah, I got 4 different ones and they're in little pots, and I want to put them, you can overwinter these and they'll come back every year. So you just overwinter the rhizome, and yeah, so once the season's over and they die down, you just take the little, it's like a flat rhizome, and you just put it away for the winter, and you don't water it or anything. You just make sure it doesn't rot or totally dry out. And then in the spring, you just put it in some dirt. It doesn't have to be a huge container. It doesn't need lots of room and stuff, but they do like it a bit moist. So, and then you put them in there, and then they'll start growing just like your dahlias, if you overwinter your dahlias or anything. So calla lilies, and some people have calla lilies as houseplants too, so you can even try keeping them over winter as houseplants. I haven't tried that with these ones, but I know like you have like the white ones, or like a peace lily, so you can try overwintering them that way. Otherwise, just overwinter the rhizomes like I do, and then I replant them, and I've had them come back every year. I have some more in my greenhouse that are out back. So yeah, that's that. What else have I done this week? The sky is blue with little puffy white clouds, which is gorgeous. This morning it was a bit overcast, and yesterday I finally had to call it quits in the garden and go inside because it did start raining about, I think it was about 8 or 8:30 p.m. So it may have been a little bit later than that. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have left the garden except for the fact that it started raining, which is okay because I had other things to do. The good news today, because I knew we were having Owen over for a barbecue, and actually my stepdaughter Amy was supposed to come too, but she's not feeling good. I did my workout earlier today, so I'm done my workout for the day. Steve is going out with his mates soon for a visit, and yeah, so he'll be leaving soon. Although where I'm sitting right now, this is, you know, quite a big chair, and it's like right on the path from the front door to get to his car. So there is sort of a way to go around if he goes behind the pond, but it's a bit tricky to get there. So he's either gonna pass through like right here and cover the whole camera or something. He might not be too happy about that. And actually our window is open to our bedroom right now, so he might be hearing me shouting because I talk really loud. Yes, so it's been a great week, lots of time in the garden, and that is what I'm trying to do with nice weather, because you just never know how long it's going to last. And on rainy days and stuff like that, I can be inside. I still try and get the stuff done inside, like laundry and everything. The kids had a week off because they had their term break, but they're back to school tomorrow. So again, even though it's been a nice day and everything, I've got their laundry done and their uniforms ready for tomorrow for school. Oh, pretty shirt. Thank you, Melody. It is just like, I don't even know. It might be a tropical bird. I'll come closer. But again, like all my other shirts and stuff, I think it's cute too. It has this little pocket. But, so I've never wore it. But I have too much clothes. So I thought I'd wear this, and then maybe I'll be getting rid of it, you know, back to the warehouse. It sounds so bad because it is a very cute shirt and I haven't wore it before. But like I said, I have too much, and a few years ago I started the motto, use it or lose it. So the other thing is that, and I did this the other day, I wore this really cute t-shirt that I've never wore before, and it's like really cute and pretty, well, new to me, like no stains or anything. But I'm so dirty, like when I eat, food falls on me, I garden, I work out. I don't want to change my clothes 7 times in a day, you know, put on my gardening clothes, put on my workout clothes, put on my, well, I do put on my pajamas after my shower. My point is that a lot of the clothes that I wear for working out or for being in the garden and stuff is like sweatpants and shirts that probably have stains on them in cleaning, because that's pretty much all I do with my life, right? Workout, clean, gardening, and everything else. And with cleaning, if I use any bleach or anything like that, I wreck so many clothes. So I tend to wear the same things, the same set of clothes, not the same set. Like I have about 7 to 10 pairs of sweatpants, and shirts that I usually kind of match with them, so I wear those, and then they're kind of stained and everything. So there's part of me that's like, well, why don't I get rid of those t-shirts and wear different ones? But I feel bad. But some of them are really comfortable and I like the way they fit, so I don't want to get rid of them for that reason, even if they are stained or have bleach stains and stuff. But the other part of me is like, why would I want to wear nice new t-shirts for all the stuff I do during the day, and then they're just going to get wrecked, and then I feel bad, but I don't go anywhere. And what was, oh, because that day I had to do grocery shopping and stuff, so I just thought, and I wanted to have a shower. There was a reason. I don't remember if I worked out early and then had a shower, and because I was ready, I put on some more like nice clothes so I could go out, but it looked really cute on me. Steve just realized I'm in the path because he opened the front door, so we'll figure out how he's looking. Yeah, he went the other way, so you'll see him pass in the background, way back there, unless he like tries to be like he's in the jungle and like hide himself. Let's see if we can spot the lesser spotted Steve. Oh, we see the legs of the Steve. We see a hand waving. No face. No hello from Steve today. Kathy says hi. Okay, bye. Love you. Have a good time. Say hi to the boys. Babe. Last time he forgot some stuff, so I was just making sure that he had it. That guy drives out of he drives out like his car, because he just has a start button, his key stays in his pocket. Like, I swear, like, it starts and he's driving out of the driveway within the same second. It's crazy how fast he can leave sometimes. This really does look really pretty. It's weird because a lot of the places that I have the chairs in the garden are for obviously looking at the best places in the garden, but not for having a great background behind me. But as long as the weather's nice, I can do my live from outside in different areas of the garden every week. I just wish that I would think about these things so that I had... Oh, sorry, I just kicked my stand. Do you know another thing I didn't do, and you might even be able to tell, but it might be a good idea because my portable charger is only at 25%. I have my stand to hold my phone, but I don't have the lighting on. I don't even know if it would make a difference. Mom says she's had her second COVID vaccination. That's really good. Steve had his as well a couple weeks ago. Yeah, the light's not making a difference, and it'll just kill my portable charger, so I'll just... Oh my gosh, I'm so clumsy. And on the I know you can see this one a bit better, I think. The armrests on the chair, that's where I have my drink too, so let's not bump that down. So Mom, you're all good and vaccinated. Now you just have to wait a few weeks for it to be fully effective, and you're good to go. I did I needed to do a COVID test, lateral COVID test for, I don't know if it was for work or something. So because the kids get so many from school, we all sat around after dinner and did a COVID test, and you know, where you stick it in the back of your throat and then up your nose, and then you put it in the thing, and then you wait half an hour. And good news, that test came back negative for me and for Steve, even though he's had 2 vaccinations, and for Owen. So nobody gets out of work, nobody gets to isolate, and nobody has to feel like crap. So that's good, and nobody's dying, hopefully, anytime soon here. Yes, I'm really happy about that, Mom. I'm happy that, you know, parents in Canada and here are all vaccinated. And I did call on Thursday and talk to the doctors again. I still haven't got mine, but this week I'm going to be calling every single day because I keep getting a text every day from them saying that I should book because it goes by ages, and so I should have already had mine. So I keep getting a text from the NHS, National Health Service, that I should book for my vaccination, but I can't book it because I was referred by the doctor to the hospital. I have to wait for them to book me in. So I'm just tired of waiting. I'm going to literally call them every single day this week until I know I have an appointment because I'm tired of waiting. So what is new with everybody? Like I said before, I know I even put pictures like where I held, like from here to like where it was here. There was barely any hair. It was only like, you know, like it was only a few strands, like, you know, like that much, right? But it made my hair look so much longer. So now it's not short, but it's such a difference from what it was before. But and as I said last week, I love the color. So it's very it's a very natural blonde, but I think it looks really good for the summer. I am so excited. I know it's technically still spring, but I'm so excited for the summer and the nice weather, and I'm so happy outside. This is where I belong. I could live outside, summer, winter, mostly the summer, but I could just be outside. Some people say like big house, no garden. I'd rather have a big garden and a small house because I just love being outside. Thank you, Melody. I'm guessing when you say it looks really good, you're talking about the hair color. Thank you. So on Monday, all 3 girls got their haircuts, and it wasn't like a super drastic cut, but it was enough to make it look fresh and good. So that, and yeah, how quickly I forget what has happened. Oh, okay, so the last electrician that we had that came and looked at things never called back to start the work, which is really annoying because it's been a few years that we've been waiting for an electrician. But we have this what's called not a framer. Oh, what are they called? Okay, like it's not a carpenter, it's not a woodworker, it's not a builder, but he does like woodwork, but it's another name for him. I'll try and think of it. Well, anyways, his name is Fred, and he's going to be coming and doing some work, like the door frames and building the closet that in the bathrooms and stuff like that. So he'll do that stuff, and I can't remember what he's called. And but he has another guy that he crosses paths with on different jobs who's an electrician, and his name is Simon. So he came and did an evaluation on things, and he's going to be doing our electrical work. So he's already come to see what he needs to do, and he's supposed to start this week. So after years of waiting for an electrician, we finally have one, and some of the work will get done so we can continue with the renovations finally. So I'm very excited about that. I will let you know next weekend how that has gone this week. So the first thing that we need done is the bathroom downstairs. Once once the electrical work is done in there, then we can start, then we get the plaster to come and do the walls and everything, and then we can tile, put in the shower, and I can actually it's mine and Steve's bathroom because it's right next to the garage, and the garage is going to be our bedroom. So even if the garage isn't our bedroom yet and our bedroom's still upstairs, that technically is still going to be mine and Steve's bathroom. So I will feel like, yeah, that'll be mine and Steve's shower. I can leave my razor in there and nobody's going to use it, and have all my crap in that closet in that bathroom. And then because Thomas has his own ensuite in his room, then the 3 girls will basically use the one upstairs, except that I don't think you need more than one tub. So the one upstairs has a tub in it. So if I want to have a bath or a soak, then I can go up there still and use it. But joiner? No. Is it a joiner? Is he a joiner? I don't know. I can't remember. My eczema is like really sore today. I don't think you'll be able to see it. But because I wear, I know this is backwards, but I wear my wedding rings here. But then when it gets too sore, I put it on this finger. And then, yeah, I don't think you can see as bad as it is. It's really sore and cracked, and I keep touching it because it is. I did put cream on it, but I need more. Oops. Oopsie. So you guys, I know you're watching, but you need to tell me what's happening with you. Give me something to talk about. I can tell you all about plants. I can tell you about the fountain. I can tell you about the beautiful chairs. These are a Canadian type of chair, and Steve really loves them, and they're quite expensive. And so I figured that because Steve's brother-in-law, David, does woodwork, if I'm going to pay that much, then wouldn't it be nice for them to be made by somebody that we know? So I didn't mind paying the amount of money, and I wanted whatever type of wood would be perfect for him and everything else. So that is what we did, and he's had them for a few years now, and we love them. They're so comfy, and he loves them so much and loves the pond that I built for him when he was in Canada 1 year, so much that your dad's gone to cards, that he put these out front here to sit by the pond. So sometimes him and I will just sit out here and, talk about life and watch the pond. And I want to get some wildlife cameras. Although we do have some CCTV like that you can do red, what's it called when you film at night? Infrared. So they so the CCTV cameras that Steve uses when they go on ghost hunts and stuff like that, and you set them up in rooms so if the light's off it still films in infrared, so they can be used outside. So me and Steve are thinking about setting those up. And also we have like GoPros and stuff that he uses for different filming and stuff, that when they film stuff, so I can set some of those up. The GoPros don't do infrared, but the CCTV cameras do. So I might set those up because I'm really interested to see the nightlife. It's cool how like after the birds, oh, you can hear the coo-hoo-hoo-hoo of the pigeons and the doves up in the trees. So, but it's cool how after the birds are done roosting and they get quiet and, you know, the butterflies and and the bees go to sleep, then that's when the moths come out and the bats and the, well, sometimes a fox in the evening across the train tracks, that's behind the guest house, and the, not badgers, we don't have, I mean, there is badgers here, but luckily we don't have any, because we don't need them wrecking our garden or anything, but, hedgehogs, that's what I'm trying to say. I know one time when we were in the office, where our monitor is for the CCTV that we have around the house, we looked up at the monitor and saw that right at the little beach here at the pond, there was a hedgehog drinking. In Canada, besides pets, we don't have wild hedgehogs as far as I know, like just living like they do here. So it was really cool to see, even if it was on a monitor. But I'd like to catch some of the action. So I'm in this group called UK Wildlife Puddles and Ponds and Puddles, something like that. And I love looking at everybody's wildlife ponds and puddles and different things, and I love seeing their wildlife. And some people who have only built their things recently, or even just a barrel pond, you know, like just a half barrel, like whiskey barrel with a couple plants and water and a way for insects and animals to get in and out. They've had frogs and toads and different things already, even if they just built it this year. So I'm quite jealous of that. But it's interesting to see all the wildlife that does come into your garden. Was it yesterday when I was working out? As I was working out in the living room, I had the patio doors open to the, you know, grassy area, the lawn, and where the stream is and stuff. And there's this little mouse. I can't remember what kind of mouse it is. It's like a dormouse, I think it's called. And it's like a really tiny body and big round ears. So cute. And it usually lives in, I think, woodland areas and stuff. And it lives underneath this wooden beam. So it's burrowed under there, but it's near the bird feeders. So I saw him coming out under, there's this one circular bird feeders for ground feeders. You just put it on the ground. It's just a little bit off the ground. And you put some bird seed in there, and it's for the birds that like to go on the ground and get their seeds. So he runs underneath it, and he gets whatever bird seed is there, and then he ran back underneath it. And then, Kathy says, yes, dormouse. It's so tiny and cute, and I was doing my workout, but I kept looking over trying to just watch him come and go. And I think it's amazing that even in a small space you can have so much impact on wildlife and nature, and not just the impact that you do for positivity for the environment, but that you can enjoy it as well. I mean, I know you guys are looking at this, just the plants and the water and everything is beautiful to look at, but nature is amazing. I love it, and I am obsessed with gardening, and I could be out here, like I said, not just enjoying nature all the time, but working in the garden makes me happy too. Although I do need to sit back and relax more and do something like this. I would like to read more, so instead of just being in the garden to read, in the garden working on everything and not taking it in, I should sit out here and have a tea and read my book, and then I get the best of both worlds. My morning routine, as you guys know, when I journal and stuff like that, I do sit at the we'll call it a dining room table, but it's like the patio table with chairs where we would eat dinner over by the barbecue. I sit out there and do my journaling in the morning so that I'm outside and journaling. And so even if I don't get to be outside for anything else, at least I'm outside for that. So what do you guys want to talk about? Anything? Nothing? I can't remember. I think it's day 292 for working out. I've been a bit slacking on my eating, and I've been eating quite a few unhealthy snacks, which is not good. So I told myself a couple days ago that, okay, I'll let myself get away with a few more unhealthy snacks this weekend, but tomorrow I really need to get back to watching what I eat. I don't think it's about not living. Obviously, like I've said, if there's a birthday, I'm going to have a piece of cake. If there's whatever, right? Like, that's the thing, we've been barbecuing, so I'm going to have a burger. I'm going to have those things. But there's also some things that you know you don't need. You don't need a big fat ice cream cone with 3 scoops of ice cream and a chocolate dip waffle cone every single day after dinner. And you don't need, okay, so I bought these, like, you know, Bounty chocolate bars. They are like ice cream frozen Bounties, and I love coconut, but oh my gosh, I love Bounty bars enough, but these frozen ice cream Bounties, I could eat all 6 of them in one go. They're so good. And then I went to another shop a couple days later, and I was looking for them again. Although I had some at home, I wanted some like right then while I was out. And but I couldn't find any Bounty ones, but they had Oreo, so I bought them, and they're bigger than an Oreo, but they're pretty small for like an ice cream sandwich. But I had a couple of those, and now they're in the freezer as well. I'm not letting the kids have them. They can have the cheaper things. But yeah, it's just those things like that I don't really need, but I keep, you know. There is something going on with the birds. They're just lots of birds flying overhead. So as I said, Steve's gone. And I have to say that this is so lovely sitting out here that I might just, once I'm done my live, and because I've already done my workout, I might just grab my phone off the stand and just finish reading my book on it when I'm done here. Beautiful evening. Pretty clear sky. I think it's going to be lovely tomorrow. I know it's going to be quite nice all week. There might be a little bit of rain, but we need the rain, so I'm not going to complain about that. Upcoming this week, like I said, the girls go back to school June, so I know, like, if the electrician comes and the you know, woodworking guy, whatever it's called, sorry to Fred that I can't remember what his trade is. Yeah, so I know those things are happening this week, but I can't remember what else. Kathy asks if retail is open here now. Well, the retail wasn't closed. It's been open for quite a while, but there's just restrictions on how many people can go in the shop or different things. So yeah, it is open, but I think it's also because we have a high rate of vaccinations in this country. We do have the Indian variant, and it's right in our area now too. So I'm not sure how that changes things, and I'm not sure if it's, I mean, I'm hoping that the vaccine works for the Indian variant as well. I just thought about the fact that I do this every Sunday, and I talk really loud, but some of my neighbors who can hear me might not even know. They might just hear me talking to myself and wonder what the heck I'm doing. But it doesn't bother me. I just thought that. So what would you guys like to know about the garden? I have saw some people's pictures from Canada, including on the prairies, and I see that some of your things are definitely coming into bloom. Lilacs and such, and I love the smell of lilacs. One of my favorite one. And actually, Kathy, you just a couple days ago, you shared a picture from your miniature lilac in the front of your house, and I can imagine it smells gorgeous. Last year I went and took cuttings from some people's lilac bushes, and I did well. They were doing really well, and then they died. But I want to have like one of every color because I'm obsessed, obviously. But I don't want to go and pay for like lilac bushes at the shop, so I'm going to try and take cuttings again this year. I know that when something's in bloom, it's not the best time to take cuttings, but if you do take a cutting of a plant when it's in bloom, you got to try and find like a new shoot, healthy, like new or medium-aged shoot, but that doesn't have a bloom on it, that's not ready to bloom, then you'll have more chance of it surviving or rooting if it's not putting that energy into blooming. And if it does have a bloom on it, you pinch the bloom off so that your energy is into making new roots. Melody said, Mom, Kathy says, peonies are blooming. My peonies haven't bloomed yet, so you're ahead of me on that. They're there. They got balls on them. Actually, Some of my newer peonies that are only like a year old and stuff don't have balls on, but the ones that are a few years old that are in the front there, I had one bloom on them last year, and now there's quite a few heads, but they haven't opened yet. And Melody says, Mom brought me a bouquet of her lilacs for my kitchen table. Oh, Mel, that's awesome, and I bet you it reminds you of Mom because she brought them and cut them for you, but it also reminds you of Dad because he took so much pride in that lilac bush, especially once he knew when it wasn't blooming. That lilac bush has been there pretty much our whole life, living in that house, for those of you who don't know. And there was a time when it wasn't blooming very much, so my dad did his research, and he was really proud to have learned that you need to, if I'm not mistaken, you prune it right after it's done blooming, and you got to be careful because it makes next year's buds for its blooms. It makes them this year. So prune it after it flowers, after the flowers are done, but don't prune it too hard or you'll have to go a year without flowers. So once he knew how to prune it properly, he was really proud, and he just took pride in that lilac bush, and it was amazing how many blooms it would get. And lilacs, even though they do have some here, it reminds me a lot of the prairies in Canada because, yes, they have a few here, but there's so many things that will grow and bloom here that they don't have a huge focus on lilacs, whereas on the prairies and in Canada, lilacs are one of our big bushes that do bloom, and they bloom really well, so it's way more of a staple there. And so even when I do see them here or smell them, it reminds me of Canada. I know I've said this before, but I listened to a podcast called Dark Poutine, and it has to do with crime and dark history of Canada, and it's just on podcasts. And they at the beginning of each episode they have a loon. Well, it has a picture, their symbol has a loon, and then at the beginning it has a loon calling. And I think I've told you guys this before, but yeah, those are two of the birds and the sounds that I miss from summertime in Canada are hearing the loon on the lake and chickadees. Chickadee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee. And I know if I moved back to Canada that I would miss things from here. I would miss our friendly blackbirds in the garden, and we have robins here too, but they're a lot smaller than the robins in Canada, but they're still very as friendly as the robins in Canada. So I'd miss a lot of the things here too. And then the not infamous, they're not bad, the hedgehogs that I'm frustrated because the frogs and the toads and the hedgehogs, I'm growing over. I don't know if you can see, I'll just turn this. So I have posted pictures of the yellow, I didn't want to have it facing that way because of the trampoline, but you see the yellow rose bush. And in there's also a variegated dogwood, but I cut it down because dogwoods, you want to cut them down in the spring so that you can get the best wood color. Like the new branches will be whatever color of dogwood you have. If the stems are red, or if they're yellow, or they're orange, it'll give you, or green, they'll give you the brightest and best colors with new branches. So I cut it right down so that the new branches will be really nice and red in the winter time and look really good for winter interest. Anyways, my point is that over there where the rose, that's a standard and it's a yellow rose, but I have next to it a variegated dogwood, so it'll be a big shrub. And what else did I plant over there? No, I left, there's a birch tree in a pot. It's really right there. It looks like it's just in the ground there, but it's actually in a pot. And then obviously the Lalandii keep going and going. They're really tall. That's where the pigeons and the doves live. But and that's the guest house. Ready for guests when you're able to come across the pond. But yeah, I'm trying to make that over there where the yellow rose bush is. I'm trying to make it more bushy, literally, with bushes, so that hedgehogs, well, for cover for the toads and frogs so they can hide for the pond. And then I'll put in log piles and a hedgehog house and stuff. And Melody asked me, with some of the pictures that I posted on Facebook, she asked me why there was overturned pots there. And when some of the terracotta pots break, I put them upside down over there so that they make natural, well, I guess not really natural, but they make good houses for toads and frogs and even some hedgehogs. So, but there is some designs to make hedgehog houses, and from what I've read, like you can buy them pre-made, but what I've read, they seem to prefer homemade ones more than the ones made in the shops. But they're not hard to make. The thing is, you make like a proper, like just a box for them to live in, and then it'll have like straw or, you know, dry leaves and stuff in it. But what's important is having a narrow, like kind of, it's like a tunnel, so that they can get in and out, but predators bigger than them can't get in and out. And then if you feed them, the hedgehogs, you feed them wet cat food, and not, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's not fish kinds, like not the fishy kind of cat food, but like the more beef and that kind of cat food. I'd have to look it up, the wet cat food. But I haven't really left any food out for the hedgehogs because we have too many cats around here. So again, if I can put it into something like that where only the hedgehogs could get in and get it, then I would do that. But first I want to set up the cameras and see if there's any hedgehogs coming into our garden, and then I'll be more inclined to feed them and build them a hedgehog house. I had thought about, and I think I've told you guys this before, in Canada I was going to build bat houses and put them up on my property, and I had thought about doing it here because I know we have bats, I see them already, but building them some houses. But the thing about bats is that once they establish a home, you're not allowed to move them. So yeah, if anything happened and I built a bat house and then the bats live there, then we're not allowed to move them. So that, you know, I don't want to encourage that in case something happens that we don't want them where they are or whatever. So I don't mind them in my garden, especially if they're going to be eating mosquitoes and midges and things like that. But yeah, I'm going to not build bat houses. What's your favorite part of the summertime outdoors, and what's your favorite plants or wildlife, or what do you enjoy? Do you like sitting out in the sun, getting a bit of color on your skin, or do you prefer sitting in the shade? Do you like sitting with your feet in water? Do you like walking in the sand? I know for Steve and other people, they can't stand walking in the sand, and they hate sand between their toes, whereas I can walk bare feet and sink my feet into the sand, and I just love it. Yeah, and sitting with your feet in the water, or I love swimming too. I know some people don't like swimming, some people are afraid of water. So what are your guys' favorite things? Kathy says would love to see a hedgehog. Yeah, I mean, I know if I move back to Canada, I might even have a hedgehog as a pet, but until then, I'd rather, instead of having more responsibility like that, I'd rather just leave the things living outdoors. Like, it's like I have a bunch of birds as pets, right? I'll feed them outdoors, I'll let them have what they want outdoors, but then I don't have to take care of anything in the house. Kathy said, had 6 baby raccoons and mama at my bird feeder in the AM. Yes, I saw your photos, and as cute as the photos are, I don't think I'd want so many raccoons in my garden or my yard, because as far as I hear, they can be quite a nuisance, and they're quite mischievous and can do a lot of damage. So very cute pictures though, and yes, babies are always cute. But that's what I say about even human babies. You know why God makes babies cute? Because then you'll keep them. Because if it wasn't for how cute they are, they would drive you crazy and you wouldn't want to keep them. Melody says, I love the lake for the summer, but I have to wait 8 weeks before I can go in a body of water. Boo. Yes, because of Melody's surgery. She can't go swimming yet, which is frustrating. And I know that Melody lives right by a lake, and they walk around and they get to see the wildlife and the nature and everything, but you can't really swim in that lake. That's something frustrating about where I grew up in the prairies and stuff, is because of the weather change, and I don't know if it's global warming or what it is, but with a lot of algae blooms, algae blooms, there's a lot of lakes that end up where you can't swim in them. You'll get swimmer's itch and such, rashes and stuff, which is really unfortunate. When growing up, we just got to swim all the time. And Melody says, I love sitting outside reading books in the sun. And Melody, I need to do that more. I want to read more books, and I love being in the garden, so I should do that. I should just do them both at the same time. But every time I get out in the garden, I'm like, ooh, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, that needs to be done. And then I have to look back at my photos later of how beautiful my garden was in that season, because I didn't take enough time to enjoy it. And Kathy says, how did your surgery go, Melody? Melody says it went pretty good, just healing now. Yes, that is true. Melody has just a long healing process, but she's at home, and every day's a little bit better, she says. So, yes. It is a beautiful evening, and it is bizarre to see me just lying back in a chair like that because it looks like people are just watching me relax on my holiday or something. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. We had such good. Okay, so Steve made homemade hamburgers for lunch, and we had kebabs with beef that he marinated months ago, but then we froze it. So, but then we had pork belly, and we had hot dogs, and we had sausages, and there was potato salad and coleslaw. I had one bite of potato salad. I didn't have any coleslaw because there was just too much meat, and I ate too much of that. And what else was there? Oh, it was just so yummy. He just spoils us. Kathy says, I'm done my treatments now, so fingers crossed. And so glad to hear that about Melody. And for those of you who don't know, Kathy was diagnosed with cancer, and she just finished her treatment a few weeks ago. So yes, Melody says that's awesome, fingers crossed. And that's true. And yes, Kathy, I'm just assuming everything's great with you, and that, you know, no news is good news, and we'll just keep it at that. Like, I'm glad that you're done all your treatments and everything. And Kathy says, wow, sounds delicious. It was so yummy, and it was nice to not have to do anything. And Steve even cleaned, like, he cleaned the barbecue and everything afterwards as well. I'm not saying I didn't do anything. Well, I didn't. Today I didn't. I do make dinners lots, and you guys know that, but I made the garden look nice, but that's about it. I even put out a bucket of ice with beers in it, just for aesthetic reasons, and I didn't know. I knew Owen was driving, so he wouldn't have one, but I didn't know if his partner wanted one or not, and nobody else did. Oh, I think Tom had one beer, but I mean, the other kids are too young for beers, but it was the aesthetic, and I put out cushions and everything to look nice. And Kathy says, yay, Steve. Yeah, he is amazing. He's a great guy. He's had a long day. He didn't want to, after that, visiting and eating so much, and then the weather being hot, and then he was like not as inclined to take the dog for their long walk, but he did, because he's never missed a day. So it's like I said, today's 292 for me, that's 392 for him. So he did his walk and everything else, and he came home and then showered and got ready, and now he's out with the boys, and he doesn't stop, and he doesn't get a week off from work. So yeah, tomorrow he's back at work. I don't have any books out here with me, obviously, but like I said, after I'm done my live, I'm going to finish reading my book on my phone. I only have a little bit left of that one. That's What Dreams Have Come, and then I'm off to read my other ones. I figured that because I showed you the other ones last week, about planning your funerals and all that good stuff, that I should read those ones next, so I can tell you guys what I think about them. So I think that will be my next one, but my goal will be to finish my book tonight, the one that I have on my phone. So what else is new with everyone? I'm at 43 minutes, so I have 17, 15 plus 2, yeah, 17 minutes left to ramble. I know I get so restless. I don't know how. I don't mind the talking part, but the sitting still for this long, my legs are sore. I had them up on another chair that I have over there. But what is new? What else do you guys want to look at? Seeing if there's any flowers that I should show you. Oops, that's not good. My portable charger. That is a wildflower in a pot right there. And there's lots of stuff there. Now I have my thing. Those are some columbines, so agwaledias that are not done flowering yet, but sort of close to being done. I actually cut off a lot of the seed heads. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's some bees working still in the evening. And those yellow flowers there are... let me think about this for a second, because I have two different ones. They seeded over there. There's not major and minor, but lesser and, shoot, my brain. I think it's in the buttercup family. Okay, let me think about this. You know when you know things and then when you need to come up with them, they're just gone? I know what it is because I planted it over here. It is, yeah, it is in the buttercup family, but it's lesser. I just can't remember. It's just gone. I have it planted right behind me in the bog, but it's seeded over there, and it obviously likes it. Obviously, it doesn't need the boggy weather. I mean, boggy conditions to grow because it's growing nice over there. And actually, you can't tell, but a lot of the stuff that's growing over there is actually, this is the sidewalk, and it's growing in the cracks in between the sidewalk pavers because eventually this is all going to be redone. So I don't care if anything grows between the pavers. If it's nice and looks good, I take out any what I call weeds, but leave the things that, here, I'll show you that again. It's like not a whole garden tour, but you can see, if I tilt down, how the paving stones are, and the stuff is actually growing in between the stones. And so when we go up, you can see that it is all of that. Like that is not any flower bed. The flower bed starts at about, it starts over here with that yarrow right there, that feathery looking stuff, and so all that is stuff that I've let seed by itself. And I think there's part of me that I like the order of it, but I like the chaos of it as well. So yeah, and I wonder if that name of that will come to me. Well, if it doesn't come to me while we're talking, it's not ranunculus, but if it doesn't come to me while we're talking, then I'll put it in the comments on this after. This is a gorgeous setup. I am not just looking at myself for a change. I'm looking at the plants behind me and beside me, these calla lilies. This one's really pretty with the pink and the white. It's not in focus. I don't know if does that focus it? And actually, I'll show you what other ones. I have to let so many wildflowers just do one thing. Oh, what? Do their thing. Yeah, that's what I do too. And it's part of my favorite part of it is just seeing what grows where and what it likes where. So I'm going to put these all in a pot together, but that's the hard part is that unless I mark them, when they die down and I put the rhizomes away for the winter, unless I mark them, I don't know which is which color until they bloom again. But I'm going to put them all in the same pot because I think they'll look good. I don't know about the yellow one, but this is the yellow one. And then I have an orange one. In the back garden I have black. They haven't bloomed yet, but I have like black and pink and different things as well. And then this one is really dark. So I think like these will look all, and I'm gonna have it behind me where they were, where I just picked them up from. If I put them in a nice pot together and I have them right by the edge of the pond, just to add some color, because like I said, a lot of things over here are green. So these three, because the colors are similar, I think will look really good together. But I'm just not, I don't know if I'm going to put the yellow and the orange in just for some contrast. What do you guys think? Where's the orange one now? If I can put the color so you can see it a little bit. So yeah, I know what container I'm going to put them in. I have it. It's a big black one. It doesn't look like a cauldron. It looks like, but it's a similar like big black, like old looking buckety type of thing. Melody says so beautiful. Kathy says contrast. Yes. Kathy says yes, contrast. I don't want to knock over my pop. When I was showing you guys something, I already knocked my pop. That's why it went funky. I think I was just before I showed you guys the columbine, like the agaligas, the purple ones, just on the side there. I really need to figure out the pool too. There's no point in having it up unless I find the hole to fill in the hole and put some water in the pool, because these hot days would be really nice to be in it. So yes, there's lots of things about plants and stuff I can tell you about. I gave Owen today, I gave him some lemon balm and a nerve plant, which is a house plant that you've probably all seen and maybe even had. You get it as sometimes in gift baskets, like flower plant baskets that you get for Christmas or whatever. It's one of the plants, you'll get it in pink or red or white or green, and it looks like on the leaves it goes out, and those are the veins that are colored, like, and they look like kind of like nerves, like nerve endings, and those will be the ones that have the color in them. And well, the leaves will be a different color as well, but like kind of like spots on them. And yeah, usually they're a filler plant in like a basket of plants that you get. Say you get a miniature rose and then some of that and a little palm tree and stuff in those baskets that you get as a gift when you're in the hospital, when, you know, at Christmas time or whatever. So I gave one of those to Owen as well because he wanted one. Melody said, did you see the photos I sent you with my perennials I saved from the front bed? Oh, I did, and I forgot to respond to you, Melody. One of them is will do fine in a pot, even overwinter. You'll have to overwinter it somewhere frost-free. Let me think. I will look at them again, and I will send you information on them and let you know what to do with them. There was a question I was going to ask you about the second one, but I can't remember what it was, so I need to look at the pictures again, and I'll get back to you. Sorry about that. I'm sorry I didn't get back, but yes, I did look at the pictures. Yes. I feel like now I'm just, it's like a jungle starting to get covered in stuff. There is something that I see in some of my gardening magazines that I want to do, but a lot of them have to need special care in the winter, or like they'll get like these huge giant plants and they make their gardens look like super tropical. So one of the first ones that I have that I'll do that with, I mean, I have cannas as well that I overwinter and are growing. Unfortunately, I didn't keep them in the greenhouse long enough, like where they didn't start off early enough when I put them in pots and stuff, so they're taking longer for the cannas to grow, but they are still alive, so they will still look great by the end of summer. But another one is, it's called a paper rice plant, and it gets these really big leaves. And for the last few years before, not this winter, but the other few years, I've taken it into the kitchen on days that it was going to be below zero and then put it back outside for whenever else. And I brought it into the kitchen, so it was doing really well. But I did read that you can leave it outside all year round. The only thing is that in the winter, it'll lose all its leaves, and then it'll just start growing new ones in the spring. Well, I did that, and it is starting to, I added photos of it. It looks like a big long stick with nothing, but it's starting to get its leaves. But the leaves will be super big, and you can look it up. It's a paper rice plant. And but I think in the next few years, unless it gets too big to actually lift into the house and stuff, I'm going to overwinter it again, because I'm so sad that it's taking so long for the leaves to come back. Whereas if I would have overwintered it, the leaves would already be there and it would already make that impact. But I would love to get some of those huge plants that, do you know the castor bean? The castor bean, you know, where you get castor oil? It's a poisonous plant, but it gets really big leaves and it grows it in a season as well. And unfortunately, I don't have any seeds for it, and it's a bit late to start them now, but that's one that I would like to grow every year, especially the purpley looking castor bean. And if you don't know those plants, I can add photos of them after the live's done. Allison was trying to call me. She might be looking for me, but she can go out in the garden and look for me instead of calling my phone while I'm trying to do my live. It's weird because I talk loud enough, you'd think she'd be able to hear me. So yeah, I want to try some of those huge plants that just like make a huge impact. Like they get these giant plants where you can like stand underneath them, and you might have, if you look at gardening books and stuff, you might see them too, because I know that there's some milder areas in Canada that they've done them, and it's just a matter of finding what works in your garden, in your microclimate. So if, like, say against a house or a garage, that's if there's heat in the garage, like those against your house is going to stay warmer even in the winter than it would if it was in the middle of the garden, because then it's freezing and everything else. So funny that you should ask, Kathy, because I have had sunflowers every single year, and usually I start some, and then my garden just ends up growing some that are in my compost. And so far, I think there's like 1 or 2 that I've seen started, but I haven't started any myself, and it's not like it has been in the past few years. So I don't know if I'm gonna have any yet, except those 1 or 2 that I think are growing already. But I haven't started any, and I'm still tempted to do it, you know, because short ones are better than none. But it's getting late in the season, and as you know, because you commented on one of my pictures with my clematises that I bought, those are just cheap, like 1-string clematises. So I know it's still buying new plants, but they are really cheap, and I'll just see. The reason I bought so many is to see which ones actually do well and which ones don't. But what was my sunflowers? Oh, so my point is, yeah, that I haven't really been starting anything, or I just want to focus on the plants that I do have. But usually there's some sunflowers that seed themselves in my garden, so we'll see. I can even move them around if I want. But Kathy says you can get giant sunflowers as well. Yeah, well, last year I had one that grew like super tall, and it was a good sized seed head on it. But then there was a storm and it knocked it down, and it made me really sad. And that was one that I didn't plant. So I have planted some of those seeds in the past, like Something's Giant and those different ones. But some of them grow really tall, but the seed heads aren't as big. And some of them have really big seed heads, but don't necessarily get as tall. But at the same time, some of them just, it's not that they don't do what the seed packet says it's going to do. It's just that I haven't had the luck with them. I still get really pretty ones, and I've had like different color ones. I've had the red ones, and I know there's like something Italian one, and there's like a Valentine one or Valentino, and it's like white, and those are really pretty. And so I have had lots of different ones, but one's called Sunwalker that I've had. And oh, I love the teddy bear sunflowers, the ones with like so many little petals and everything, and those are really pretty. But I haven't planted any this year. But I have been thinking about it, so the fact that you mention it and ask me makes me think maybe I should. Because I save all the seed heads, and I mean to leave them out for the birds as well. But there's so many seed heads in the garage, and so there's no reason that I can't plant some. So yes, if I read my book out here, then it'll keep me from going in the house and trying to find bad snacks as well, which I shouldn't do. Although, like I said, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be eating healthy, so I'll still allow myself to have 1 or maybe 2 bad snacks today, and then back to the drawing board of being healthier. But I'm still doing my workouts, and that's the most important thing. But eating matters as well. There's a jet going over, or a plane, leaving some trail marks, and the sky is just beautiful. I know it's getting a bit darker out, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful evening, and I can tell that my phone is still light enough that I don't need to have any light. And thank you, Kathy. Kathy says I'm awesome. You are awesome, never mind. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm just, these ones are really... Okay, there went I didn't drop my glass. I caught my glass, but I spilt my pop and knocked down one of the calla lilies. So these, I love the flower, the pastel flowers, and I've had this for years, and it's a wallflower, and you can grow these there as well. They're perennials, and I thought it was like the focus, I don't know, anyways. The colors just change as it flowers. And you can cut it back, and it just keeps going and going. It's beautiful. I have some darker burgundy ones and everything else. Kathy says, lovely to catch up with you and family. Thank you, Kathy. And Kathy, let me know when you have time to be my guest. Everybody would probably love to meet you as well. Yes, I only have 2 minutes, but I'll let you guys know that I'll be on next week. I will try my hardest to have a guest so that we have things to talk about and go off of each other. And I also because I want my guests to also tell me about them and what they do for a living and what matters to them and everything else, so that it's more interesting than just me and my topics. But yeah, welcome to my jungle. I hope you guys have a good week. Auntie Diane says, do you grow a garden? Potatoes, carrots, peas, etc. Love all your plants. Okay, so I have in the past, and when I was in Canada, I did it more. But because in Canada, you plant your garden in May, usually May long weekend, and then you harvest in like September, October. Here, there's different things that grow at different times of the year, and there's so much more to learn and know. So actually, in my potato sacks, I still had dirt, because I wanted to use the same dirt as I used before, just in case there was like little potatoes that I missed. And obviously there was, because even though I didn't plant any potatoes this year, both of my big potato sacks have potato plants growing in them. So those are growing. I started some spaghetti squash from seed, so I have those planted. And I did gem corn, which is, you can eat it as popcorn, but it's not like sweet corn that you would eat. So I have corn, and it's still not too late for me to do like spinach and lettuce and everything else, but so I want to do all those vegetable things, and that's what my raised beds are for, but I haven't done it like how it's done in Canada and how my parents have done it, where I have a full vegetable garden. The other thing is that there's lots of like companion planting where you can plant things together, so you don't have to do it all in a veggie patch. You can intersperse different vegetables in with flowers, or put some of the flowers in with your your vegetables and stuff. The one thing that I do have growing in the raised beds, in the L-shaped raised bed, at the back of them, some of them are in pots, but some of them are in the ground, and there's a lot of berries. So I have raspberries, Saskatoon. I bought a Saskatoon bush. Saskatoons aren't, they're native to North America, but you can buy them here, but most people don't have them here. It was just in a gardening magazine that I saw them, so I ordered them. So I have Saskatoons. I have and I have some other things that I haven't got any fruit from. I think one's called is it a Thai berry? Like there's one that's like, it's long and like purpley, and I think it's related to oh, my brain. I can see the flower in my head right now. Anyways, I have fruit bushes is what I'm trying to say. So I am working on those different types of raspberries, and the Saskatoon bush and the honeysuckle. Okay, so it's like I don't know if it's a tayberry or one of them that's related to a honeysuckle. And last year I tried growing cucamelons. Those are those little tiny, taste like cucumbers, or they're in the cucumber family, but they look like watermelons. But I only got a couple of those. So I'm not trying a lot this year. I've tried beets and carrots and you know, all those things, and I do get a little bit, of reward, but not as much as I would like to. But I'm still learning about those things. Everything's a learning experience, and it's taken me like learning to do these, and I'm still learning about houseplants too. I'm not very good with the houseplants either, but I will eventually have a really good vegetable garden like my parents did and everything else. It just takes practice and timing and all that. So I will try harder with that stuff. It's frustrating when you go through all the effort and then you get something that's like really unsatisfactory when you could just buy it so easily from the shop. But the other thing, I do have a jalapeno pepper plant growing in my garden. I mean, in my greenhouse, because last year I did a lot of different types of peppers and tomatoes. Because I do my own compost, there's always tomato seeds coming up as plants. So I'm going to leave some of those in the raised beds, just grow where they have already started. So I usually have a good reward of tomatoes, whether I grew them myself or just let the seeds grow from my compost. But the jalapeno is one that overwintered in my greenhouse from last year, and it's giving me new jalapeno peppers this year, but I haven't planted any new peppers this year. So that is that, but I will try and get better at the vegetable garden, definitely. It's just a learning experience, so I'll keep working at it. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, with a different part of the garden. If it's nice, if it's raining, I'll be indoors. If it's nice enough outside, I'll be outdoors. And like I said, I will try to have a guest next week. So have a great week. Have a great Sunday. And yeah, love you lots. So 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. And I love you guys. I miss all my Canadian people. I wish we could just get together like really easily, but this is the next best thing. So have a great week. Love you guys. See you on Facebook or Instagram or wherever we see you. And if not, we'll see you here next week. Okay, love you. Bye.